Hi folks. So yeah, going from the last video, okay. It certainly is a case that when somebody points out your passion and the strength of your belief, and points out the fact that they know that I've never intentionally tried to hurt anyone in the church. Yeah, they know without a shadow of a doubt that it breaks my heart when I see the church as it is, and when I see a church which is saying, we know that we are right, we know that what we believe is correct, and we're not willing to hear anything that speaks against it. Because, as I said yesterday, this whole idea of being settled in your belief, in your understanding, in your knowledge, means nothing else can come in. It means that the door is closed. I mean, I've tried to speak to the associate pastor and probably to Jeff and other people in that church, just saying, it is very much a case that I do not believe that God is going to get through to you. Because if you are settled in your way, if you think you're right, then God can clearly be telling you you're wrong and you won't hear it. Because if God says you're wrong, that's not encouraging. And because you believe only encouraging things can be said, you believe that God is that way as well, which he isn't. To be honest, I've done my best, because I've actually said that with a church, even with the tares, can those tares be changed into wheat? Yes. Oh yeah. In a church where God comes in and God is doing stuff, then tares can be changed into wheat. Yes. Because God is capable of doing that. Because actually we were all pretty much tares at some point, weren't we? Even those who are now wheat, we were tares at some point. The problem is that with tares, and this is, with tares leading the church, which I think in many cases is what is happening, that explains where the church is and why the church is where it is. Because you've got tares leading the church. Well, look, anyone who thinks that the way to train a minister would be to use a worldly system, really, no one who is of God or who is his is going to see that he would use a worldly system. Remember, the world belongs to who? The devil. He would use one of the devil's system, one of his systems, to train his people. And the devil would be quite happy for one of his systems to be used. Yeah, okay. No. That just is, the rock that the church was built on is Peter. Peter was educated in what way? A lot of people look at Paul and say, but Paul was educated. Yeah, but he was pretty much the only one educated in that way to a high level. Yeah. He was probably the only one. The rest learnt how. They walked with who? God. They learnt by their mistakes. They learnt by their successes. They learnt walking it out. They didn't go to college and learn. Bambini just had a shake. Cool. So yeah. I mean, this is why I get frustrated, because I see. Well, hold it. There is no one in the church who has to perish. No one. No one in the church has to perish. But we've got to have understanding. And understanding isn't that whoever believes shall not perish. That is not the understanding. The understanding is whoever believes should not perish. Should not is not the same as shall not. Yeah. Well, because otherwise the Lord wouldn't be talking about the vine and the branches and those that do not bear fruit to be cut off. There would never be any that don't bear fruit if everyone is going to not perish who believes. But try and get that understanding over in a church, and they don't want it. So basically, look, the way that churches are going, they're saying, give us time. We are getting things moving. We are getting things going in the right direction. Give us another 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. The problem is most of the people in your congregation will be dead by then. They will be in their eternal resting place, their eternal destination. And for most, as it stands, their eternal destination is not heaven. As it stands right now. How long do you need as leaders to change that? Well, okay, how long have those people got? You're happy with a number of those people dying and going to hell? I'm not. Not in any way, shape or form. I'm not happy with that. This whole point about the way church is right now, it's, the leaders come in and we've got to do things softly, gently. We don't want to lose anyone. You're losing all of them. At the moment, you're losing all of them because they're all pretty much destined to hell if they die right now. Because they're not in God. They're in the world. Very, very much in the world. So this whole idea that someone from your church watches my videos and thinks that I'm wrong, but instead of acting in a way that's loving and helping me to understand how I'm wrong to correct that, they're running to the minister. Oh, minister, I saw something. Oh, I saw something. I heard it. Oh, he was nasty. He was nasty. Really? That's not of God. That's of the world. All of that is of the world. So, yeah. Well, as I say, the reality is if people want to stay in churches like that, they can. It's up to them. It's up to them. You can't force people to get out of those churches. If they want to stay in churches like that, it's up to them. And they are responsible for their own eternal destination. They really are. You can't blame the pastor for it. You really can't. Because people have a choice to stay. People see the church and they see the Bible. They know it doesn't fit. They know that. They know it doesn't fit. Anyone who has the attitude with regards to worship that David had, with his limited ability, and says, well, that's good enough. They look at the world and they see musicians playing fantastic music, and how can they think that that's good enough in church? The level they do. They know it isn't. But if they're happy to stay in that and say, ignore that, because that's the point. People in church, they wanted me to basically be in church but ignore all the things that are clearly just wrong. Because other people in the church do that. And that's the point. If you're in a church and you choose to go along with that crap of ignoring the things that are clearly wrong, then okay, you've chosen your path. Yeah. And even worse, the people who say that they know that these things are wrong, but they won't actually challenge people on it. That's far worse. Yeah. So there you go. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Be a blessing. Be blessed. Have a fantastic rest of the week. And yeah, enjoy. And focus on your relationship with God. Deal with that. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.